Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Firstly, apologies for being a bit late. So yeah, starting in Angola. I mean, always you never know what to expect. Obviously, going into Africa, but obviously we know and we knew what was at stake. We want to go to the group stages. So I think from Angola, I think our minds were set on the target, and that's to make it to the group stages. We came back at home against a team from Angola, and obviously we pulled through on penalties. And then going to Congo, to Lubumbashi, also a good experience. Some of our guys first time going that side. It was very hard conditions. Wasn't very kind to us. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think we managed to get a good result away from home. I think going that side and coming out with a draw is, I see it as a positive result, and I think looking forward to this weekend, and I don't see a reason for us not pulling through.
Thank you very much with those words. Colleagues, for obvious reasons, we'll take few questions. Let's see how we can speed it up. Where's the mic? Let's go for post.
Brandon, obviously when you guys did preseason, and last season as well, you played the same formation, which is mostly 4-3-3. There's been slight tweaks in terms of the formation and approach to games. How is the team adapting to the current coaches from a formation point of view? Because obviously when it changes, the roles as well will change. How's been the adaptation from the players?
Yeah, I think in preseason we obviously you try different formations and different systems, depending on the personnel and all of that. And I think we've touched on most of the formations that we played in preseason. Knowing that at some point, sometime you might need to use that formations and all of that. And I think the guys understand their roles and responsibilities within the different systems and structures. So I think at the end of the day, at every game you play, has its challenges and has stumbling blocks. And I think for us is obviously that ability to be able to switch in between formations, to obviously try and catch our opponents off guard. And also, I think also the players that we have available, and the personnel you have, and you feel that a certain system might work in that specific game. So I think for me, it's also that the fact that we are able to do that, switching between systems, and I think the players have done fairly well.
Roll with the mic.
Benjamin Irenda, Eswatini Daily News. Having played a goalless draw away, how do you approach this game? Because any mistake, if they score first, then you guys could be under pressure to say we should score. But if it ends maybe any draw, which is a scoring draw, they are at an advantage. How do you approach this game?
I think for us, obviously, like I said, we know what's at stake. We know that we can't allow them to score. So I think for us, it's to start the game strong. To make sure that we stamp our authority early in the game and let them know that we're not conceding here today. And I think all of the guys are aware of what we have to do. So I think going in this game, I think the most important thing is not to concede, but also to start the game very well and make sure we get some early goals.
Brandon, Lorenzo from the Ski Times. Getting the captain's armband, what does it mean to you as Brandon Petersen, and what was the discussion made with you when that decision was made?
I think obviously being one of the captains of the club, it's an honor and a privilege. We've always had a captain's committee, where we have 2-3 players, which is, the captains, and everything goes through them. So I think, well, at the moment I have the armband, but we have our captain's committee, and we always talk together, we always sit together and discuss, and we always have that liaison with the coaches. So for me at the moment, I have the armband, but it doesn't change much. We're still doing what we've been doing. So, but it's an honor and a privilege.
afternoon, Brandon Petersen from Captaincy Media. A lot has been made about Chiefs' attack recently, especially the lack of goal scoring threat up top. But from your opinion and perspective, how would you characterize your team's defensive performances? Do you think perhaps they've been overlooked?
I think defensively, from the start of the season, we've done quite well, and I know our attackers has been under a lot of pressure and scrutiny, but I think we have been creating a lot of chances and all of that. So I think for us it's not to try and change anything, it's just to get that confidence, to start scoring. And I do believe that once we start scoring and once we get that right, it's going to keep coming. So I think defensively we've been pretty solid this season so far. And for me, it's just to stay consistent in that department. And then obviously going forward, I think our attackers, they know what they have to do. It's just a matter of having that confidence and putting the ball in the net.
Brandon, you're the coach in New Zealand Africa. From your viewpoint from the goals last week, what did you make of the opposition? And where do you think their threats are, and how do you think you can exploit them at Dobsonville Stadium on Sunday?
I think obviously a very aggressive team, very physical. I think last week we created a few chances, coming in from the side, spaces they leave at the back on the side. So I think for us, we know exactly what we want to do. Don't want to give all our secrets away, but I think we know exactly what we have to do. It's just, I think, continue where we left off last week, and this time around just make sure the ball is in the back of the net.
Joe from News 24. Brandon, as players, how are you handling the, pessimism is a strong word, but this quickness to want to throw everything on the water because of what has happened in the last 10 years, that when the team experiences a bit of a bumpy patch, it's like, oh, not again type of mentality in terms of the friends, but show that this team is capable of bouncing from this patch and then doing like we did in this couple of games.
I think it's exactly that, the mentality. I think we can't allow ourselves to start thinking like that, because despite not being able to convert our chances, I think we've done very well compared to other seasons. And I think the start of the season alone speaks for itself, and we've proven that we can do that. And I think it's for us just to continue believing that we can do it and go out and do our best. I mean, that's all we can do at the moment, control what we can control. I mean, at the end of the day, the result might not be what we want and the goals might not be coming, but I think the positive thing is everyone believes in the team. So it's for us to continue that and make sure that every game we go in, like we said in the start of the season to ourselves, every game is a cup final for us, because we have to try and win every game we can to make sure that we're competing for everything that's at stake. So I think it's to continue on that route and just believe in ourselves.
Closing one.
Brandon, Colin from Joseph. Brandon, I just wanted to put perspective into the role and the responsibility of being a captain. You probably might have been from the other groups or from the team you come from, that when you are a captain, what's expected of you is maybe to tell us the role that's given to you to say, in the post-match, meeting with the coaches, are we going to see the Brandon that comes to say your opinion is secured, your advice, or is it a case of just popularity contest? You're the captain and that's it. Just be happy and go home.
I think we all understand the importance of a captain in a team, and I think for me the most important part is leading by example, and being that figure where players, there should always be, for me, for example, a link between players and coaches. And I think for me it's important to obviously stick my neck out for each and every player in the team and make sure that if anything bugs them, if there's anything they need to speak about or they're struggling with, that they can approach me and I'm able to then speak and try and solve it in the best way possible. But also, I think it's just, I've always, or I like to believe that I'm a natural leader, you know, and like I said, I'm one that lead by action, and not just saying words and speaking stuff. So I think for me, it's important to, with the captains in the captain committee, it's important for us to make sure that we don't just say stuff, but we do it, you know, and that we set that example, and we always try and put our best foot forward.
Thank you very much, Brandon, and all the best on Sunday. We'll see you again.
Thank you.